last but by no means least, normally we are saturated with Fintech and PropTech companies, so it's really nice to see we've got one, and it's the wonderful WealthE Migrate.
On the 1st of August 2005, my father passed away, broke. Now that's not how the story was supposed to end for someone that did what you were all taught to do. He went to school, he went to university, he worked hard, he trusted the financial industry, he invested, he saved, he paid his taxes, and yet he died broke. Now statistically, 94% of you in this room will follow my father. 5% will retire feeling trapped, and only 1% will retire wealthy. We believe that the system is broken. At WealthE Migrate, we decided to create your trusted global real estate marketplace. Think of it as the Amazon of property. We basically enable the 99% to be able to invest like the top 1%. Through our blockchain-enabled platform, we give global investors access to quality partners in England, Australia, and America, and in residential and commercial property from as little as £1,000. We've now got members in 118 countries. We've had $79 million go through the platform, and we facilitated over $500 million in property deals. We've got 5 different distribution strategies. The first is education-based marketing. We've got investor tests, we've got micro degrees, and all the top property trainers and experts. We basically teach people, we educate them, we build trust, and then we provide solutions. We do digital marketing, we do social word of mouth. We've got a very strong affiliate and channel partner with over 150 channel partners and affiliates around the world already. And last but not least, we use a marketplace rollout strategy where we've already got teams in 6 countries and 5 continents. In terms of our partners, what do we give them? Well, in every country there are local trusted property partners, but they want access to global investors, and they want access to becoming digital. With regards to our investors, for those of you in this room, we've already built our investors. We've got over 140 shareholders already. We are a company built for investors, by investors. Our plan is to 10x their capital on a 5 to 7 year period, and we've got 4 specific exit strategies as to how we're going to achieve that. And there's really 3 reasons why people become shareholders, or what we call wealth partners in our business. The first one is the profitable approach. It's a $217 trillion industry, the property market. It's old, archaic, expensive, inefficient, and a hassle. And it's ripe for disruption. Secondly, we find that people come together because they want to be part of a like-minded community. And I've mentioned already 140 people from around the world. They want to grow together, they want to learn together, and they want to become global citizens. And thirdly, and probably most importantly, is they want to have a purposeful impact. Our aim, by empowering the 99% to invest like the top 1%, is to solve the wealth gap and empower at least 1 billion people. And we tend to find that if those 3 things, profit, community, and purpose, are something that attracts you, then we'd love to welcome you on our profitable and purposeful journey. Thanks.
That was a really good presentation, thank you very much. For an investor, where's your liquidity and where's your diversification?
So diversification is easy because if I take my brother, he's a 39-year-old anaesthetist, with £5,000, there's little he could do in the property industry. Would you agree with me? Whereas now, my brother will invest his £5,000 across 5 different projects. So he's getting diversification across countries, across asset classes, and across currencies. Maybe you don't want all your money in England with Brexit. So that's the first thing. The second thing with regards to liquidity, we do have an off market at the moment, so it's not an active off market, and it's willing buyer, willing seller. We are building in the functionality to bring that into the digital space. But as I always say to people, when you invest in property, it is a winning buyer, winning seller. And so if there's another GFC, we don't guarantee that people can sell their ability. But most importantly, all of our projects have a 2 to 5 year window frame. So in the same way that if you and me bought this building, we would generally agree sort of the time frame we want to invest it for. And I like to talk to investors and say, listen, rather think of it as a property investment. This is not something that you invest today and try and take your money out in January for school fees.
Can you tell us how the blockchain works?
Yeah, perfect. So our number one obstacle is trust. If I say to you, do you want to invest $10,000 in a medical building in Atlanta, probably the first word that's going to come to your mind is, how do I trust you? And so what we've done is there's 6 different phases to our blockchain. For now, we've only built phase 1, which is the transaction process. And so we've dual listed all the assets when you invest. One is on the listed stock exchange and one is on the blockchain. I can literally go online, or you can come up and see me on my laptop. You can literally go in, and if you invested $10,000 in a medical building in America, it's listed on the blockchain, and the investors can get full access to that transparency. So it helps them build trust in terms of what they're looking to achieve. And there's another 5 phases in that process that we're building out in terms of our holding system. It's just the transaction process we've done at the moment. And again, we're not doing blockchain because we want to do an ICO or because we want to, some fancy fad. Our number one obstacle is trust, and our purpose is to ultimately get investing down to $1 per person per investment. And the only way to do that is by using blockchain.
Last question.
Yeah, so I mean, if you so the question was, what are the 6 phases of the blockchain? So look, it's fairly simple. You've got the number one process is the transaction process. Then we've got the supply integration. So we've got a system called GIDS, which is Global Investment Due Diligence System. And ultimately, we want to use big data and algorithms to be able to determine good quality local partners and use, so if you take Wikipedia as an example, in terms of due diligence, the same sort of process, but have all that information on the blockchain. So just think of that from the supply side. Then on the demand side, we've got what we call smart investing, where ultimately you don't want to have the same plan as this person in terms of investing. You want your own personalized path to wealth. So again, helping you create your own personalized path to wealth. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing is in terms of the whole asset management, so your portfolio management, not only in one country, but across countries and asset classes. The fifth for us is where the digital currency comes into. So if you think about it, who here could stand up and guarantee me the value of Bitcoin? If I put a gun to your head, you'd be confident. What about a cryptocurrency that's backed by property? Every single person on the planet, whether they have property or not, understands the intrinsic value of property. And so for us, the 5th and 6th process is all around this, which is effectively a security token. The world's not ready for it yet, but 10 years from now this will be a reality. And just on that note, Friday is Black Friday, and a lot of you are going to go and spend money on gimmicks and gas, a whole bunch of things. Billions of dollars are spent. The reason we launched tonight with Seedrs is that we call it WealthE Wednesday, because the number one principle of investing is investing yourself first before you waste money on Friday.
What is the average goods or the investment so far, and how do you select the properties to invest?
Yeah. So the average return on investment, cash on cash, has been anywhere from 7 to 11% cash on cash returns. An internal rate of returns of about 11% to 20, some higher than 20%, but let's just say 20% for now. In terms of how do we select the properties, what's interesting is that it's less about the property and more about the partner. So as an example today, my partner actually, Ken Williams, is here. He lives in London, he's an investment banker by background. And we were with one of the top property companies here in London today. They're right in Mayfair, they've got a stellar track record. Those are the type of partners that we want. So we do our due diligence more on the partner than actually on the property. Does that make sense? And then we've got a multi-layered, I basically wrote the book on it. Sorry to be arrogant, but and this is what we call our GID system, the Global Investment Due Diligence System, which is a multi-layer, 4-dimensional algorithmic model to determine where and when to invest, and it pretty much helps investors know how to invest as well, based on their personal needs.
So when you invest in something, do you buy 100% of the property?
Oh, So without getting too complicated, sometimes we take down the entire capital stack and sometimes we take a piece of the capital stack. So as an example, we agreed today with this partner that we'll take $1 million in a commercial opportunity here in Cannon Street. It's a £60 million deal. We're only taking £1 million in the capital stack. But in terms of medical real estate in America, we've got over about $120 million now, and in those cases we took down the entire asset.